I'm coming to you from my walking pad, week 69 on the GLP-1. I kid you not. Time for a monthly update. What is my body doing this month? I'm this close to maintenance. I don't know exactly where maintenance is, but I'll know it when I get there, and I'm not quite there. I'll go over the numbers. I'll go over what's new with eating and exercise this month. Let's get started. If you're new here, hi, I'm Bobby. I've been documenting my GLP-1 health journey after menopause for the past 69 weeks. I am down over 40 pounds and closing in on a goal range, not really a goal weight. I am not a medical doctor and I am a therapist, but I'm not your therapist. So none of this is medical or mental health advice. I am just sharing my experience, what's working for me, things I'm trying, things I've learned. Always talk to your own healthcare providers when you're figuring out what to do for yourself. I'm usually sitting still when I record videos, but I don't know, I felt like recording while I walk on my walking pad. Makes me a little bit out of breath. Real quick, for some context, my starting weight was 210.1 pounds. It put me into the obesity range. After menopause was the first time I'd ever been obese. Before menopause, I was always able to manage my weight with, my lifestyle, diet, and exercise. But after menopause, things really changed, and the GLP-1 has been what has helped me to lose weight. So let's look at the overall picture of where I'm at this month compared to last month and compared to way back in the beginning when I started. Last month, my weight was 169.5. This month, my weight is 167. So I have lost 2.5 pounds this month. Woo! As always, for those of you who are thinking, wow, what a slow month. 2.5 pounds in a month is totally normal for me and totally normal for anyone. A healthy rate of weight loss is 1/2 to 2 pounds per week. And I've been averaging about 2/3 a pound week lost. So for me to lose 2.5 pounds in a month is right on schedule for me, especially as I'm getting closer to not being overweight. Like, I'm technically overweight right now, but not by very much. And so usually the body slows down. So I am really happy that I lost 2.5 pounds. That gives me a total loss of 43.1 pounds. I've never lost that much weight before. I've never needed to. Wow. I've been tracking my weight loss and my body composition with the Hume Body Pod, which is a portable body analyzer. It's got medical grade accuracy, and it breaks down not just weight, but lean mass, fat mass. If you know me, you know I am celebrating that my visceral fat has been in the normal range since last month. That was my big news last month. Having all these numbers has given me a really nice perspective because just the scale alone, because just the scale alone has not been very dramatic. And seeing the other numbers and knowing that I'm preserving my lean muscle mass and losing weight in a really healthy way has made all the difference for me.
Just to see what's happened in the past month, you can see my body fat percentage went down, my body fat mass went down, and my lean mass went up. And I know these changes are small, but it's just been in the past month. And then over in this middle part, again, it shows my fat mass has gone down, my visceral fat has stayed the same, and my muscle mass is continuing to inch up. So these numbers are just really reassuring to me.
So I am still considered overweight with a little bit too high of body fat. And when that gets down into a normal range, I'm going to consider that the top end of my maintenance range. And that's when I'll transition to maintenance, which I'm honestly not sure what that will look like. I'm not planning on going off GLP-1s. I'm going to figure it out as I go. So just for funsies, I like to pull up these humanoid diagrams that show my lean muscle mass and fat percentage in these diagrams. This is kind of how it's looked for a while, is that my lean mass looks all normal and then my fat mass just looks a little bit high. If you want to try the Hume Body Pod, my discount code stacks on top of any sales they're running. BOBBI is my discount code. When you stack them, you can get up to 50% off, and that's good for 7 days from today. If you're in the US, the Body Pod is HSA and FSA eligible, so you may be able to pay for it through your insurance. I will put the link and the code in the description below. One thing about me celebrating losing 2.5 pounds this last month is that I have not felt like I am on a diet. This whole GLP-1 journey, I haven't felt like I'm on a diet. And I think that's just because of the appetite suppression. I've spent months of my life in the past in a calorie deficit because I've lost kind of those same 10 or 15 pounds, like over and over again in my adult life, where my pants would get tight and I'd lose a little weight, and then my pants would get tight and I'd lose a little weight. So I know how to lose weight, and I knew what it felt like. And a calorie deficit felt like it wasn't sustainable. But this has felt very sustainable because I'm not so hungry.
It's editing, Bobby. Here for a quick clarification. When I'm talking about losing the same 10 or 15 pounds in my pre-menopausal life, I was working out and either strength training or doing something that was maintaining my lean mass, like yoga or something. Because one thing that can happen if you sort of yo-yo up and down, even in a small window, like 10 or 15 pounds, is that if you're not exercising, you lose 10 or 15 pounds of lean and fat body mass. And then when you gain that weight back, if you're not working out and using your muscles, you tend to gain back fat. If you repeat that cycle several times, you can imagine that every time you repeat that cycle, your fat percentage increases and your lean mass decreases, which is going to do a number on a lot of systems in the body, not least of which is your metabolism. So I just wanted to clarify that when I was doing my lose 10 pounds and then gain 10 pounds, that kind of thing, that I think that I was maintaining my lean mass. And I didn't really notice changes in my metabolism until it slowed down a bit in perimenopause, and then it just completely went off the rails after menopause. Oh, and I think in retrospect, the reason why I had to work so hard to kind of stay within that window of healthy weight is because I had all this food noise that I didn't identify as food noise. I didn't think that it was out of the ordinary. I just thought that's how everybody's brain worked. And so I was probably always in a little calorie surplus. And, over a year or two, I would gain 10 or 15 pounds. And then, like I said, my pants would get tight and I would lose it. So with the food noise gone, it's so easy to eat like a, I guess, normal person.
For the first time in a really long time, I don't have any food or eating updates. I've just been in this groove of meal planning. I think not traveling helps a lot. Last year I traveled a lot, and getting kind of in and out of my routine, it was really hard. And so I've just been home so far this year. Some travel's coming up. We'll see how that goes. But so far this year, it's been really nice to be in a routine. So I haven't really changed anything about how I've been eating. Meal prep is still so important for me. And yes, I still need to set an alarm to remember to eat lunch. Not breakfast or dinner, but lunch on work days. I will totally forget. Medication-wise, holding steady. This is my second month that I'm starting 10 milligrams, and it's doing really well, so nothing really to report there. No side effects to speak of. The appetite suppression and the lack of food noise are going strong. If you're enjoying this, remember to hit like, hit subscribe, and share it with someone that you think would find this interesting or informative. I also have an email newsletter that I send out every 2 weeks, just letting you know some behind the scenes stuff, what's going on, any news that didn't make it into the videos, sometimes some stuff that I don't really want to share on YouTube, stuff like that. I will put the link to sign up for the newsletter in the description below. I think it's exercise is where I have the most updates. So in last month's update, I talked about how I was going to go on some kind of 2-day, 1-night backpacking trip, and I did it. I talked about it in a previous episode this month, but I wanted to mention it here too. It was a real milestone for me. I had never done solo backpacking before. I'd gone with people, but I did this trip alone and it was a blast. And I'm already planning a longer trip alone for sometime in the next month. So be prepared next month for another update about another backpacking trip. The training for that is where my exercise is new. I have not gone back to the personal trainer because that 1 hour I spent with him gave me a really solid routine for training for backpacking. So I've just been implementing that routine, which is one reason why I'm on the walking pad. I'm not wearing a backpack or anything, but just getting more steps in is part of just training my body to get used to spending a lot of a day walking. And so I'm trying to increase that. But at the gym, my workouts look different because I'm incorporating more balance and mobility and power. I found out that the real weak link for me is power, and I wasn't really sure what that meant until I met with him. Like I can't jump very high. And when I was trying to jump for him, and I said, wow, I can't believe I can't, like that's as high as I can jump, because it was like this far off the ground. And he was like, well, how often do you jump? I was like, never. I never jump. I don't want to hurt myself. And he's like, that's why. So I'm practicing some safe jumping to increase my power in terms of, like, if you're hiking and you lose your balance and you have to catch your balance really fast, things like that. So I am still someone who would rather sit on the couch than move my body. I think that's just who I am. But I got to admit, I am having fun doing this training, and I've been out on a lot of day hikes too, and I enjoy being out in nature. Are you rattling at me? You're a big mama. Look at you. Wow. Bye. But the way I think about it is a day hike I really enjoy, but I don't enjoy it as much as if I were just lying on a blanket in nature. But I do feel better about hiking instead of lying around. So at some point in my life, I just decided exercise was a non-negotiable and I would just do it. So if I was gonna just do it, I would have to figure out a way to either make it fun or at least mildly interesting, or to make myself accountable to it, like if I'm meeting a friend for a hike, or if I have a trip planned. In the past, I'd sign up for a race and then it would motivate me to train for the race because I didn't want to show up on race day and not be able to do it. And now I'm planning backpacking trips and it motivates me to train to get ready for a backpacking trip. So there's a trip I want to take that I'm not ready for right now. I couldn't really do the miles that's required for that trip right now, but I'll get there and I know how to get there. And so I'm gonna do it. Oh, I am sweating, you guys. I really hope that the noise of the walking pad isn't loud or I'll have to film this all again. I gotta go get some electrolytes because I'm sweating a bunch. If you haven't tried LMNT electrolytes, you can get a free sample pack with any first purchase using the link in my description. You'll get 8 packets, it's a $12 value I think, of electrolytes for free if you order something off their website using that link. The link is in the description. I've been using LMNT for 5 years. They're really solid. In fact, they are one of the things that I really rely on in my GLP-1 journey. Watch this video next to find out more things that fall into that category. Okay, thanks for being here, guys. Love you. See you next week. Bye.